Happy Black Friday, everyone, and welcome back to You Talk, We Listen, the show where we take your requests and dive deep into the topics you care about. And, of course, a big shout-out to our sponsor, OtisWho Network, for making this all possible. Hope you're all snagging some sweet deals out there today. But we're actually going to be talking about something a little less celebratory, even though it is happening right in the middle of all this shopping frenzy.
Yeah, that's right. While millions of people are out there hunting for bargains, thousands of Amazon workers around the world are getting ready to walk off the job.
Okay, so maybe not the most festive topic,
Yeah.
but definitely timely. We're seeing headlines about these planned strikes happening between Black Friday and Cyber Monday, the busiest shopping days of the year for Amazon. So this deep dive is all about understanding why this is happening, and we're going to be looking at it through the lens of a recent Fox Business article, so buckle up, because we're about to get into the nitty-gritty of global labor movements and what they might mean for, well, all of us.
What's really fascinating here is that this isn't just a small-scale protest. We're talking about a coordinated effort involving workers in over 20 countries, the U.S. and the U.K., of course, but also India, Japan. It's a truly global movement.
What, 20 countries? That's a lot of disgruntled elves, so to speak. It makes you wonder who's orchestrating something this massive.
Well, the main players behind this are UNI Global Union and Progressive International, and their goals extend far beyond just labor practices. They're aiming to hold Amazon accountable for its environmental impact and even its potential influence on democracy. So it's a pretty ambitious agenda.
So they're really going for the whole package deal, huh?
Yeah.
Not just focusing on workers' rights, but kind of using Amazon as a symbol for a whole system they want to change. This quote from Christy Hoffman, the General Secretary of UNI Global Union, really jumped out at me. She says, "No matter how much they spend to fight us, corporations like Amazon cannot break the power of workers standing together." There's a real sense of defiance there, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It highlights the core belief behind these strikes, the power of collective action. It's the idea that when workers unite and speak with one voice, even a giant like Amazon has to listen. But it's not just about abstract ideas. The article gets into some specific examples of where these strikes are planned. We're talking major cities in the U.S. and worker rallies in New Delhi, where they're protesting Amazon's alleged mistreatment of employees during last summer's intense heat wave.
Right, but here's where it gets interesting. The organizers are claiming Amazon uses anti-union tactics, but the company itself is singing a very different tune.
That's right. Amazon spokesperson Eileen Hards told Fox Business that the company offers good pay, great benefits, and great opportunities all from day one. They're emphasizing a positive and supportive work environment.
They're even highlighting their job creation record. Over 1.5 million jobs worldwide by their count, and emphasizing the safe and engaging workplace they provide, both in offices and in those massive warehouses.
It's important to acknowledge both sides of the story here. We have the organizers claiming worker exploitation, and Amazon pushing back, saying they treat their employees well. It creates this he said, she said situation that can be tricky to navigate. But here's the thing. This isn't a new phenomenon. This is actually the 5th year in a row that we're seeing worker action against Amazon during the holiday season.
Wait, 5 years in a row. This isn't just a one-off protest. This feels like a pattern. Makes you wonder if Amazon's responses have been effective at all.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, we're seeing a growing global awareness of labor rights and working conditions. Especially in industries like tech and logistics, Amazon, being a major player in both, finds itself right in the spotlight.
So you're saying this isn't just about Amazon, it's about a much broader shift in how we think about work and workers' rights in the 21st century.
Precisely. And that raises a really important question. Can these strikes actually hurt Amazon? I mean, could they actually disrupt operations during their most profitable time of year?
Now that's the million-dollar question. Because if they can,
Yeah.
this could have major implications, not just for Amazon, but for the future of worker activism around the world. We'll delve into that more when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
It really is a fascinating situation. You have this massive corporation at the peak of its power, and yet you have this growing wave of resistance from its own workforce.
And it's not just about the optics of it all.
Yeah.
These workers have some very specific demands. So what would making Amazon pay actually look like in practice?
Well, at the most basic level, they're asking for higher wages.
Yeah.
But it goes deeper than that. They want safer working conditions, better benefits, and more respect for workers' rights. They also want to see Amazon take greater responsibility for its environmental footprint and how its operations impact local communities.
Okay, so they're not just asking for a bigger slice of the pie. They're questioning how the whole pie is made in the first place. This reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about the organizations behind these strikes. UNI Global Union and Progressive International. They seem to have a much broader agenda than traditional labor unions.
That's a keen observation. They're not just focused on wages and working conditions. They're tackling issues of social justice, economic inequality, and even the future of democracy. They see these strikes as part of a much larger movement, pushing back against corporate power and demanding a more equitable world.
It's like they're using Amazon as a kind of test case. If they can force change at a company as powerful as Amazon, it sends a message to corporations everywhere. That quote from Christy Hoffman keeps coming back to me, the one about how corporations can't break the power of workers standing together. It's almost like she's acknowledging that Amazon has vast resources, but still believing that collective action can make a difference.
It's a powerful sentiment, and it speaks to a real sense of optimism within these movements, the belief that even the biggest corporations can be held accountable when workers unite and demand better. But it's important to remember that this isn't just a black and white story. We're talking about a clash of values here. The organizers are questioning the very foundations of Amazon's business model, its relentless pursuit of growth and efficiency. They argue that this comes at the expense of both people and the planet.
So it's not just about squeezing a few more dollars out of Amazon. It's a fundamental disagreement about what a corporation's responsibility should be. And it makes me wonder, where do we, the consumers, fit into all of this? What can we do if we want to show our support for these workers?
That's the million-dollar question, and honestly, there's no easy answer. It's a personal decision that each individual has to grapple with. Some people might choose to boycott Amazon altogether during the strike period, while others might continue shopping there. But also donate to organizations that support workers' rights. Some might choose to use their social media platforms to raise awareness about the strike and its goals. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. The key is to be informed and make conscious choices that align with your own values.
It's like that old saying, vote with your wallet. But it's not always easy to know where to put your money or your energy when it comes to these complex issues. What I'm taking away from all this is that even small actions can make a difference. Talk about these issues with friends and family, sharing information online, or even writing to your elected officials. It all contributes to a growing movement for change.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the heart of our show. You talk, we listen. We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on these global Amazon strikes? Do you think they'll be successful in forcing Amazon to change its practices? Share your perspectives with us on social media, and let's continue this conversation together.
We're going to dive even deeper into the potential impact of these strikes after the break. Could they actually make a dent in Amazon's profits during their busiest season? And what would that mean for the future of labor movements around the world? Stay with us. All right, so we're back and ready to unpack the potential impact of these global Amazon strikes. Could they actually make a dent in Amazon's profits during the busiest shopping season of the year? I mean, we're talking about a company that's practically become synonymous with online shopping.
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure. Amazon's a behemoth, no doubt about it. And they've definitely got backup plans in place for situations like this. But there's no denying that a large-scale coordinated strike could cause some serious disruptions, especially if they hit those key pressure points.
Like delivery delays. Imagine the headlines. Amazon crippled by global strikes. Black Friday deliveries in chaos. That kind of negative press could definitely tarnish their carefully crafted image of efficiency and customer satisfaction.
Exactly. Amazon has spent years building this reputation for seamless service and instant gratification. Any crack in that facade could have a ripple effect, making consumers think twice before hitting that buy now button.
And you know, it's not just about the immediate impact on sales. These strikes could force a much broader conversation about Amazon's labor practices, their environmental impact, and their overall role in society.
Right. It's like holding a magnifying glass up to the inner workings of this global giant. It forces us to confront the human cost of convenience and ask some tough questions about the ethical implications of our own consumption habits.
It's wild to think that something as seemingly simple as a shopping holiday could be intertwined with these huge complex issues like global labor movements and concerns about corporate power. It really highlights how interconnected everything is.
Absolutely, and it underscores the fact that even our individual choices as consumers can have far-reaching consequences. Every click, every purchase, it all adds up.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I keep coming back to this one question.
Yeah.
Will these strikes actually make a difference? Will they be enough to push Amazon to make real lasting changes? to its practices?
That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? And honestly, only time will tell. But regardless of the outcome, these strikes represent a significant shift in the landscape. They demonstrate the growing power of collective action and send a clear message. Workers around the world are no longer willing to accept the status quo.
And that in itself is incredibly powerful. It's a call for a more just and equitable world, a demand for corporations to be held accountable for their actions. It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping the future we want to see.
So the next time you're unboxing those Black Friday deals, take a moment to think about the people who made those products possible and consider what kind of world you want to create
Okay.
with your purchasing power.
That's a powerful thought to leave us with. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of global labor movements and corporate accountability.
Remember, knowledge is power, and you have a voice. Use it.
We encourage you to stay informed about the developments of these strikes and to keep engaging in these critical conversations. Until next time, keep diving deep.